Greetings and salutations, fellow Homo sapien thinkers. I am McCoy, and I am going to make an ink video for you today. Since the founder of the McCoy patina is currently at work, I am having to use my front-facing camera here, so bear with me. I'm going to show you how I inked my Stingray. You can see here that's a little bit of, and I'm going to be applying my ink to the Carvella, which you see here. I have already dissected it. To apply my ink, I'm going to be using these little sponges right here. I got them at Michael's for 59 cents. Price may vary in certain states. Tax may apply. And then I'm going to use this ink right here. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the name of this brand, but it seems to be a popular choice among inkers in the vape community. So let's get started. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Carvella and I'm going to put it on this nifty little rod right here. Now, this is not a necessary step, obviously. It's more of a convenience factor. Just makes it a little bit easier to hold it, and obviously it's optimal for drying times, which ink tends to dry fairly quickly. But once you put those layers on, you want to let it dry for a good minute before you apply your clear coat. So, first thing we're going to do is take the isopropyl and put a little bit on this here cotton ball, and I'm just going to wipe the surface of the metal to remove any sort of oils or dirt that could possibly keep the ink from adhering properly to the metal. And that's good. Now thankfully I have this nifty little wooden stand that Rob had made. My rod fits perfectly inside of it. Also convenience. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sponge. Now on this one I'm going to use my blue and my green together. And I am just going to take this color and I'm going to put dots on the sponge. Now you want to kind of space your dots out, because if you put them too close together, when you put them on the mod, they're just going to mush together and make this really ugly brown color, and we don't want that. So I'm just going to take my green and I'll put some dots of green on here. Now this is like the 15th time I've tried to make this video. That's why I am really hoping this works. And I don't have some sort of complication that makes me have to stop it and start all over again. And now I'm going to apply my blue. Still here, you want to make sure that you put your colors pretty spaced out. You don't want them right on top of one another. Otherwise, they will cluster. And we don't want them to cluster. So once I've got my ink on there, I'm just going to take this and I'm literally just going to lay it on the mod very lightly. You don't want to put any sort of pressure, otherwise your colors will just pull and then they'll blend together, and we're not trying to achieve that particular look here. Or at least I'm not. If that's something you want to try and experiment with, obviously you can feel free. So I'm just going to take this and lay it on there. Take this, lay it on there. Now I'm going to blow on the mod as I apply the ink, because I want it to dry fairly quickly. I don't really want those colors to spread too far and possibly bleed together. And in in essence, I'm just kind of creating these cheetah spots all over the mod. Now, alcohol ink dries pretty quickly, so just a little bit of airflow across. And you're good to go. Now, as you can see here, my colors are getting a little splotchy. Means I need to apply more ink because, like I said, it dries very quickly. So, since I can still see where my original color was placed, I'm not going to flip it over. Normally, I would flip it over and I would use the other side so that I don't have a chance of putting colors in the wrong area. But there's a pretty good contrast between the green and the blue, even on the sponge, that I can see. And then I'm just going to take it and lay it on. Take it and lay it on. And then I'm going to do this until I have achieved the desired color or pattern of speckles that I want in this particular color. And then I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm going to pause this and resume, and I'll see you in a second. I don't want it to time out, so. Well, hello again. Alright, so I have the desired amount of coverage on my mod here of my blue and my green. So now I'm going to take a new sponge and I'm going to put my red and my purple on. So, take the purple, the red, and I'm going to make dots on this sponge. Put this sponge. And I'm going to do the same exact thing that I did before. I'm just going to take it and lay it on there. Lay it on there. And here I'm going to try and hit all of my areas that are still silver. Just kind of fill it in. Here is where I pause. So I am to a point now where I have some pretty good coverage as far as my color is concerned. However, I still have some spots where I can see metal peeking through. So I'm now using the very tip of my brush sponge, or brush, sorry. And I have a dot of blue and a dot of green. And I'm just kind of taking that and I'm going through and I'm touching on those spots of where the metal is poking through, putting a little layer of color on there. So if you run into the same situation where you have metal peeking through, that's an appropriate approach to filling those holes in. Still working on filling in the metal. This time I'm gonna do some red and purple. On the mod, you definitely want to try not to put too much of an alternate color on top of an alternate color. So try and avoid putting your red too much on your blue, because they will re-wet each other and create that kind of blended ugly brown color effect. Almost done. And I am officially done applying my ink. I have got it to a point where I am happy with the colors. So now I'm gonna set this down and let it dry for probably about 30 minutes, and then I will show you how I apply my clear coat.
Clear this thing.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and apply my clear coat. This is what I'm going to be using. Now, the first coat of clear is vital. This can make or break your alcohol ink. If you put too much moisture on there, too much wetness, all of your colors will bleed. And we don't want that. So, I'm just going to do a little shaky here. And I'm going to put such a light layer on there. I'm just going to barely touch the surface with this, with the clear. So I'm just going to do a quick layer. And I'm going to let that dry for about half an hour. Very, very, very thin layer on there, so you don't want your colors getting wet and blending together.